Hello, YouTubers. So my oldest is at school and my youngest just fell asleep, so I figured right now is the best time there is to maybe record a few videos that I've been working on. So yay. This one is how to cope with baby fever when you don't actually want another baby. And I'm probably going to title it something differently, but that's along the lines of what we will be talking about. Coping with the feelings of wanting to add another child. And I've talked about this in plenty of my other videos where it's almost like a limbo kind of a feeling, like you do want another child, but you don't want another child. You know, there's all these reasons why you want to get pregnant, but then there's all these reasons why you don't want to get pregnant. And so I've been in this limbo, this limbo feeling, trying to cope with baby fever when I don't actually want to have another baby feeling since the end of my phantom pregnancy, which is May of 2016. So I've been dealing with this feeling for a little over a year now. Almost the end of September, a year and 4 months now. And so I've come up with, some ways, but let me go ahead and read this to you because I wrote this out because a few days ago, I realized why I constantly deal with the feeling of baby fever, which can easily become an obsession in most women's minds. A precious baby and becoming a mommy is such a momentous occasion, a celebration. And it's a time often remembered and looked back upon in those special memories. So, you as a mother, you're always remembering your children, no matter how old they get. You're always remembering them as this young little baby or this little newborn or a toddler or, wherever. And, you always get these flood of emotions of, look at this little baby, and then it makes you wonder, I wonder what a sibling would look like, or if you only, anyways. I realized, like most women do at some point in their lives, that social media and TV and the media alone plays a very, very huge part in my feelings and most women's feelings of baby fever. Even though I have no real desire to actually get pregnant or have another baby. Let me go a little bit further. I have absolutely no desire to get pregnant and have another baby in the town that we live in. In fact, the thoughts of having another delivery, whether it be vaginal birth or C-section, really, really scare me. And I know this is so weird because I've been through both a vaginal birth and a C-section birth, so I know both of them. And you would think that me having these two experiences would make me feel more comfortable with these experiences, but in fact, they've made me more terrified of these experiences. And I don't know what it really is exactly, but all I know is that a vaginal birth terrifies me and a C-section birth terrifies me. Having both of those things happen to me again, it completely makes me feel like I'm frozen, like I can't, and that's where my feelings of not wanting to have another baby come from. The fact that I don't want to get pregnant again. So I've come up with ways to cope and adjust to these very, very real emotions of wanting another baby as a woman and mother. Because it's something that happens every week. There is some kind of announcement. There's some kind of, one of my friends posts a picture of their baby, a week old, a month old, 3 months old. I'm pregnant. I'm 3 months pregnant, or all these kinds of announcements. All of these things happen every single day, and the more friends you have, the more chance of these announcements happening. And these are all great things, and I'm really so happy for these women. Hold on. Okay. I really am so happy, but I can't help but feel like I'm missing out on something. Now, I know this is crazy because, like I said, I have no real desire to actually get pregnant, to be pregnant, to birth another baby, to breastfeed another baby, to stay up every 2 hours, get up every 2 hours to feed. I have no desire to do these things. But when I see these announcements, it's like a flood of emotions, and it's so weird. So I've come up with these, these ways of coping, and I've listed out my priorities and my goals in my life. If I'm a stay-at-home mom, I don't plan to be a stay-at-home mom for the rest of my life. Now, if you plan to be a stay-at-home mom for the rest of your life, good for you. If that's what makes you happy, fantastic. That is not my plan. That is not one of my goals. And so I remind myself that the things and the goals that I still want to accomplish, I have to remind myself of them daily. Not only, one, to begin focusing and putting these goals into action in my daily life, but also so that I can change direction and focus. If I see one of these pregnancy announcements or something along the lines of that on Facebook, on Instagram, I automatically start, listing off the things that I want to get done in my personal life that contradict having another baby. Because one of the major reasons why I do not think that us as a family should have another baby is because of financial reasons. I don't think it would be fair for me or my husband or the 2 kids that we already have. You have to ask yourself, can I financially afford to have another child? Can I emotionally afford to have another child? Can I mentally afford to have another child? And can I physically afford to have another child? A lot of women overlook the physical part because you are giving this baby so much of you. Realistically, you are going to sacrifice your body one more time for one more pregnancy. You're going to restrict yourself. You're going to have to go to appointments and do this and do that and do everything in your power to make sure that this baby is healthy and that the labor is prepared for and all of these things. But then after the baby is here, now you have to take into account on, feeding the child, breastfeeding the child, giving that child what they deserve. And then also having the energy to be there with that child and raise that child, because the older you get, the less energy you have, unless you are actively trying to keep your health, unless your goal is to have optimum health all of the time. A lot of people don't have the energy even for the kids that they already have, let alone thinking about it realistically. Am I going to have enough energy to physically be there for my child once they are born? Am I going to have the energy to take them to the park? Am I going to have the energy to do all of these things? So yeah, and then, you have to also take into account how old your current children are. If you feel like if you are not going to have the energy for those children, then your children are going to pick up your slack. And how does that affect your already living children if they're the ones that are having to raise this child that you have no energy to anyways? Also a big one for me is that understanding that adding more children can change the current family dynamic in all kinds of ways, in either a positive or negative direction. Because keeping a relationship with your significant other, even though you have children, is very, very, very difficult. The more children you add, the less time you and your significant other are going to have for each other. That's just the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. The more kids you have, the less time you have for each other. Now, I know there's probably people out there who have like 8 kids and spend so much time together, but it takes a lot of work to do that. And energy, and that's what I'm talking about. It takes a lot of energy to be a parent in general, to do anything. So if you don't have the energy, then you're not going to be able to have 8 kids and still have a super awesome relationship with your husband and have an awesome relationship with all 8 of your kids and feel like all 8 of your kids have an awesome relationship with each other and all of these things, right? If that makes any sense. Okay. Now that I rambled, and then you also have to take into account, how does your spouse feel about having another child? What's their feelings about it? How many kids do they want? Do they want only 2, 3? Do they only want 1? Ask them. This is a big thing that a lot of people don't really take into account, is that, you know, you feel, well, I want 4. What if your husband only wants 2? And then what? So then you push the other 2 on him and make him want those kids? Or do you decide that you only want 2? And yeah, so it's, me and my husband have always agreed on the amount of children that we wanted, even before we even thought about marriage or even thought about children. We both pretty much agreed that 2 was our number. Me, honestly, I could not see myself raising any more than 2. I was an only child. I only ever saw my mom raise 1 child. I don't know what it's like to raise more than 1 child. So 2 was already pushing it for me. So yeah. Yeah. So these are just some of the ways that I cope with baby fever. I hope this possibly helped somebody who might be in the same limbo kind of feelings I have, where I have baby fever, it's there, I see other babies, and I'm like, oh. But at the same time, I have to fight it because it's not what I want in the grand scheme of things. So I hope this video makes sense. And I hope it's helped somebody. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I hope you have a great day. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be happy, be healthy, stay blessed, friends. Bye!